having a look if there are new lines, new tricks, cuts, something. At least the record is now much faster, and I'm only 60 seconds. Wow, and I just watched a video from this guy, I think. And hello, Marcus, of course, right beside me. Typical. Okay, yeah. Let's have a look at She-Freak. He goes super inside. Yeah, of course he doesn't jump there. Uh-huh. So we have to watch it also from my perspective. Just kept the grip better. Even slows down on the penalty. Yeah, he goes extremely tight like that. And that's his lead, kind of. What did Zodiac do? We investigate. Did he do different lines or is it the same? So far ahead. Here he went super right. That was not so great. It's only equal with me. I win it here. And you see, that's why I watch it. That beats... That looks like there is much more possible, to be honest. It looks like as if there would be much more possible on this track. When you see that I am so far behind at the start, but then I'm suddenly equal to Zodiac, who is just 100 off from the world record. And then it's mainly one part where I lost it. But I definitely gained a lot before. It's interesting. Question is, will I understand how they keep the grip here in the start? With their lines. Wer ist da? Oh. Okay. So far the only okay boy. the sub, but only 10th. I have heavy on my server. In theory I should improve, as I saw the replays now. But it's gonna be tough again, without much training. The main part to improve is here the start, of course. And at least there. Wow. Crazy how much I lost in the end. Ah. Hello guys. When is the cup of the morning even starting? Naja, we are in the qualification already. It started 10 minutes ago. So how equal, how consistent am I? What am I doing wrong in this first turn? So we saw before I went onto the server, I compared with the world record replays. I lost a lot of time right here. But now I'm behind my ghost. My ghost was a 10th behind after that first quest turn. I don't know what's so special about it. They didn't even do a nose slide or something. They just turned in. Oh look, now I'm ahead a bit. Somehow. I don't know. At least I go into this with a challenge, by not being too trained. But I'm surprised that I dropped so many positions in the leaderboard on this map, because I was only a 10th behind world record yesterday when I drove my time. I think I can't really just copy the world record lines in that part. Yes, this is super important in which part you actually go into this transition. Because this is too high. To see if it still works. Yeah, it does. Okay, gonna put open planets off now though, because of those shitty FPS that I have otherwise. Yet, why do I jump? This is so hard for me to judge. What, does it start already? Just finished. May your bonks be plentiful. What the fuck? And now I drive 0.88 in the PB. Okay. Okay, so in the whole seeding, I only got to a high 0.9, and then first round, no elimination round, and suddenly I drive a PB here. Okay. did the gear come so early? That surprised me now. And after that really good lap, I have now a lap where all the parts were not optimal and it's only 0.4. Wow, good. 0.4. That's worse than I even thought. And this is the range where I will be driving. I have to, of course, get then consistent into the better times. Yeah, I won't make too many experiments from now on. I just try to get a decent start line and just focus on getting everything clean so that I always end up at a 0.0 or 0.9, because that needs to be consistent at some point. And then I can try to improve these consistent lines towards the final. There was already an issue. Somehow I didn't gear up. Not the way I'm used to it. Kanchika on orange. I'm missing the ghost as orientation. It's probably Hello Mark viewer. Nah, actually probably not. Whoever plays in a cup of the morning is maybe not a Hello Mark viewer, because it would be a very short night then. That depends. Americans are maybe still awake? I'm not sure. Maybe if you live in West US. Do Americans call this also just cup of the morning? Like the European style? For them it's of course no, cup of the night, kind of. For Australians this is cup of the evening. Chaining out. Damn, a 45 is out? Yeah, please. 45 has to be out. We try 42. I wonder what you needed to go into the fun. For sure it was not that bad. Because with a 0.3 I was already in the beginning of the seating pretty far behind. I'm first. That was a late gear change though. Dropping. To 4th place, man. The last left turn is also tricky. Also there it's so unclear how you keep grip. Oh, Gary cool on yellow. This guy is so lucky. I can't believe it. High pull-up Schaum. Hydrate. Okay. What was with Enda? I didn't realize. Was he out? Was he orange? Was he fast? Was he just there? .05 and I am 8th. 8th with that. That is crazy. Enter DNF. Now I'm really curious what you meant neutral. But I'm asking, is he out? So I hydrated, you heard that maybe? And then he DNFs next round. Wow. I'm doing extra jump again. Yeah, with that point 19, then only 12th. So with such a time, you live in danger to even make it into the top 8 later on. Where is this first checkpoint that I'm so often in red? So now it was the first time, but still, there are so many players, and I went tight. Like, how am I red there? Drop to 10th, 21. Good morning, Huan. Hello, Mikul. Also earlier, hello, MB Truck 2008. Mostly English only, but I mean, you can also ask one German question. It's fine. Genau. Can I please drive a bit faster, Ken? Seem to have bad starts. Not really getting better with this one. Yeah, these annoying blocks, man. And they are always used. In those quest maps. Who built this map again? Us kids here. It seems to be like common, like mapper knowledge. Like when you build quest map, then you have to use these blocks and do some essence with them. I hate that. Actually, I don't really know it. It is too complicated to understand for me. Also, I never really read through the rulebook. But it is so weird. Like the orcs have the spot, and I wonder now as well if Sinners now loses everything. Like, will the orc Sinners then really drop? Will that happen? And the orcs decide which players they take. Yeah, it feels complicated. I also didn't really completely understand that system. I also don't really like it. In the other seasons, you exactly know the player or the team has to get this position to achieve following thing. Now it's only get into the top. What is it? Top 6 of the 8 teams get into the World Cup. They make the World Cup qualification or something. So this is what I go for, but I really miss this system where you knew, okay, at the bottom will go out, or the very last player will definitely drop out, the other go into some relegation. I really miss this. But yeah, it's a bit more complicated now. I also don't understand it fully. Like, if someone else does, then can enlighten us. Okay, that makes maybe sense, to give other teams a chance to get up. The thing is, in Team GL, it's a lot about money, and about how many viewers these orcs have, like their streams. That is like the main thing. And in Challenger, it's more like there are more teams that are not as big, so you can replace them easier. It's really inconsistent for me. Now I'm having such a good start again. I've got a really good position there. Now suddenly I drive a good end after a bad start. Like, you know, I was often, with times like this, I was often like 12th, 13th. Could have been dangerous now. I don't understand this map completely. I haven't trained it. And still struggle with those blocks. How am I always in that? Also there, you just have to trust. The trust is the car keeps the grip. Okay, I'm getting third with a 0.09, which is a very, very slow time. Like earlier, I was also just 10th with such a time. But yeah, this is how different rounds will be. Yeah, definitely. If you do it in the wrong round, you're out. One time a bit of air time in those S-turns. But that's how these maps go. I almost clipped. Okay, we have now one of the very fastest players out with best tier. Toad a bit lucky. So far Gary Cool is not performing at all. I tell you, he will come super far again. But he has so many bad rounds, like he was again 4/10 behind. You can easily get knocked out with that at this stage, but well. He already did some sub times as well though, so he has the pace. But he doesn't show it often. Similar to me. My pace is also not really consistent here. Toad is out. I mean, with only 0.0 you shouldn't be able to win. Very cool on orange. I was in danger and I still drove 0.9 with that. Also I was in the beginning last. Okay. And Garikul is in, of course. That was close one. I'm second in the end even, and I was fourth on the last checkpoint. We were within the 10th. Oh. Can you believe it? While Garikul has been knocked out. So now it will be, now I need a good time. .90. I said I need a good time. I need it again. The guy that I tried against drove .88 in the round before. Let's go! 0.06 only, but well, GG. I had a very good start, but I messed up in the middle a little bit. I was not that confident that I could win on this map. My times were way too inconsistent and people were way too fast. And way too many people were way too fast. But worked out nicely in the end. I was quite consistent below 0.1 for the last 6, 7, 8 rounds, I think. Nice.